i200 Restoration. Finished off yesterday with making these patches here. We formed this into one piece. As you can see, this is only tacked in at the minute. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to seam weld all this in and get this ground back, and then we're going to start mocking the sill up, getting the sill cover on, see if we can get that to fit nice and tidy. We're then going to go around some parts of the car using some rust inhibitor. We use Built Hamber Hydrate 80. We've tried quite a few different types of rust inhibitor, and we've found that this one seems to be the best. So we're going to go with this on this car, and any areas that are pitted or slightly corroded but still solid, we're going to treat with this, let that cure, and obviously when it comes to it, we'll then go over the top of that with some zinc rich primer, and then normally 2-pack primer over the top of everything, and then give it its final coat under seal once all the welding's done. So I'm going to get on with this now, get this welded in, and then we'll start to mock up and have a look at this sill, and we're back in a moment. Right, so we've got our patch seam welded in there. It's over the other side, spot welding across the chassis as we did yesterday. So that's ready for grinding back now. We've laid our sill on. We've got it into a rough position, as you can see there. Now what we're going to do, Tom's going to start drilling some holes, and we're going to put some small self-tappers in here to hold this section in. And then this needs folding down slightly flatter across here because they do come on a bit of an angle, so this needs forming down a bit. So we're going to get some screws across there, and then we're going to start to run some screws across this edge, and then we're going to remove our clamps. We're going to roll the car over, and then we're going to mock up a door, try a door on, check all the panel gaps are right, and then we can start to chop all these bits out, trim these bits that need to come out, and then start tacking our sill into position for the final fit. So let's get drilling, get some of these self-tappers in. Right, so you can see there we've got our screws in, some along this bottom edge, some along this top edge. This is all fitted in pretty well now, pretty tight all the way across. We've got a couple of screws in this back section here. This is going to be cut off anyway and butt welded to the rear quarter. Obviously these holes will be plug welded back in. So we're going to get the car rolled over now, get it the right way up, and then we're going to get a door and try a door on to make sure this all fits correctly. Once we know it fits correctly, we're going to make our marks on it, and then we're going to start to trim out these bits that we don't need all the way across here, and then we can start to get this welded in. Right, so we've mocked our sill up, we've tried a door on, it seems to fit pretty well. So what we've done now is we've scribed our lines, you can see the line there, and we've scribed our lines down here and also across there. So this is going to be our cut line now to suit our sill panel. So what we're going to do now is we're going to blow some more primer in all of this, and we're going to get some paint in there as well just for extra protection. And then what we're going to do is we're also going to clean up all the inside of this, and we're going to prime and paint inside of this sill as well, so that's nice and protected for when the sill goes on, because once it's on it ain't coming back off. So once we've got this fitted, we'll do another video and we'll refit the door once the sill's tacked in, and we'll show you how it fits. What we're doing here now is we've got our built amber i200 in a little pot, and we're going to apply this with a brush to these pitted areas. Make sure you get it scrubbed right in there. As far up as you can under that panel. It's important that you scrub this right into all them dimples. Plenty of that on there. We will be going around the car with this stuff. Any areas like this will be treated in this built amber. What we'll do, we'll start to go up this A-post here as well with it. You know, these pitted sections. It's also important it's at a decent temperature when you're putting this stuff on as well. If it's too cold, it won't work correctly. It's quite warm in this unit today. So ideal temperature for putting this on. This section's going to be cut out. Well, it's got a hole there anyway, but while we're up here we may as well get a bit of the stuff in there. That'll do for that bit. Like I say, we will be going around the whole car with this stuff as and when we get along. So now we're going to get some primer inside this sill, paint the inside of the sill panel, and we'll start to get this fitted. Right, so we've put some primer in there, some zinc rich primer. We've also put some satin black paint just for extra protection. So that's all now nicely protected. We've also done the inside of the sill, which is over there. So Tom's going to lay this on now, and let's see how it lines up with our cut lines. We're backing them up. These are the holes we made earlier to line our sill back up into a good spot. Get the screws back in here. As that's now tacked on, as you can see where we've made our cut lines, this will go in there nice and tight and be welded up. It'll sit absolutely flush, and then we can start working into these corners, get that nice and tight. Same as we come around here, that will go in there nice and tight. We can just start to dolly this down a little bit so it's nice and smooth and flush. Same again across there. Then we have our rear quarter section there, which we've put out. And again, that's going to fit in there nice and tight. Once we've got this welded in, we can then start to put a little bit more weld into this rear arch. As I said earlier, there's quite a lot of play still in that, so this will give that a little bit more strength. Once this is seamed across there, we can start putting some more welds into that. So that's that for now. We're going to get some more screws in this, and then we're going to start to weld it up. We've got our sill cover on there. It still wants some tidying up, still wants a bit of grinding back and stuff. This is just a quick rough flat down. You can see there where we've spot welded it across that top edge. Obviously these spot welds still need to be ground back. We've welded it there into over a quarter panel. Again, it still wants a good grinding back. This is just a rough flat off with a grinder. We'll get the little roll lock tool and some other bits and bobs in there to finish that off. You can see under here we've got our spot welds there to the floor pan. Nice and tight all the way along under there. So what we're going to do now is put the door on, and I'll show you the fit with the door. This corner may be a little bit out because there's still some weld in there. These corners are an absolute nightmare to get into with any kind of grinding tool. It takes quite a long time, so I'll do that next time. I'm just going to plonk the door on. I'll show you our gaps along these edges where we fitted this sill. We're backing them up. So that's the door on. As you can see there, door gaps pretty good. And we've got quite a nice even gap all the way across that lower edge there. This can always be slightly altered. Obviously with the door striker, this can be moved up or down if we need to when we build the car and put it all back together. But for now, that's a pretty good gap. So the bottom of the door is a bit iffy. There is some rust and stuff in there, but that's a pretty good even gap all the way along there. So happy with that. Again, that's going to be it for today. Only a small update. That's all we've got time for. So just a little recap. We've got this plate in here. That's a full one-piece patch. Goes all the way around there to the other side. That's now seamed in. We need to flat that back. We've got this sill all done, pretty much done. Just wants a bit of fettling. We've put a few more tacks into our rear arch panel there. We'll just keep working our way into that bit at a time just to try and prevent that panel from warping. So we'll keep going at that bit by bit. And then the only other thing I managed to do was cut the rot out of this rear arch. So that's going to be a job for another day, but I just wanted to get that old nasty repair panel out of there. So that's it for today, guys. I'll see you on the next one.